You work so hard. You show up every day. You do what's expected of you. But deep down, you know the truth. One paycheck shouldn't decide how your life turns out. But what if your evenings meant progress? What if your weekends built freedom? What if your laptop became more than just a screen? This isn't about quitting your job. It's about giving yourself options. While others crawl, you start building. Quietly, consistently, and on your own terms. No pressure, no guessing. Just a clear system you can run after work, before work, or whenever life gives you a turn. That's what Goldmine on hustlesafrica.com is for.
Tuesday.
Haikuzo makasi ni watafute uongozi pamoja wasitafute.
Kweli una maana gani? Una maana wewe ni binadamu ya mavi ya kuku.
Mashamba yetu harambe.
Nguruwe kujikanga na mafuta yake, na Afrika itakwisha.
Padani agosho ngai no mwega naende shode.
Wakati hiyo ilikuwa ukisema ngwe ndani.
Appeal to the Gen Zs with a lot of humility and kindness to consider not going. Appeal to the Gen Zs with a lot of humility and kindness to consider not going.
It was supposed to be that short. All right. Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Gachagua, and this is Political Lady coming to you at 7:30 in the evening from the city of glasses, the city of Mr. Kachola. Mr. Kachola, how long have you been in this city? Are you one of those villagers or you're born Tao?
I am a villager, typical one.
Really?
Yes, I'm a typical
It's interesting how villagers come and take over the city.
Really,
you know, Ruto is a villager coming and taking over the city.
I think Nilots have a way with this city.
Really?
Yeah.
Nilots fear the city. Colleges are not here, they are farming, bro.
I'm saying Nilots have a way with this city.
Yeah. How are you doing?
For the longest, Jagero, if you ever used Matatu, there are particular communities you wouldn't find as touts, drivers, but today they're in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
The script that I was thinking that it was gonna be a little longer, but it is fine. The producers have decided to cut it into a very small piece. Now, what is the situation of the country right now? Mr. President is in Madagascar. People are telling me that he's gone to benchmark with the penguins. I don't know how that is true, but what is the situation of the city? We used to have mega protests organized by His Excellency, the departed Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and then we have those ones that are being organized by Sifuna and Gachagua. What is the difference? Give me the difference, because in the eve of the protests, Gachagua decided that look, we are not going to go to the streets, and so I'm wondering what is going on. Did we? I saw you at TV47 talking about the protests and saying that people should not be in the streets, but I think yes. It's our right to be in the street.
It's your right enshrined in the Constitution to be in the streets. Yes. Yeah. But Jagero, I think I got a fair backlash with fellow Kenyans while telling them while I was on Radio 47 that as much as you are entitled to go to the streets, there are things that are slowly being overtaken by circumstances, situations, and events. We cannot be in the streets in perpetuity. We got to decide when to be in the streets and when to sit on the table. Yes, and I think whatever people are going to the streets for could be resolved on the table. Yes.
But somebody will be asking you this question. I want to bring. You can cross. I don't know whether it's safe for the TikTok lawyer to cross. That's fine. Yes, I want to welcome our TikTok lawyer, Babu's Bodyman.
early enough.
Do you think that you're Babu's Bodyman?
Not yet.
Not
for
yet.
Sure. I'm not a bodyman for anyone.
Okay.
I'm an intellectual, so my role is always different.
Yeah,
I'm not a goon. I'm not a personal assistant.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You can make, you and sound is very interesting. You can twist it a little bit ikiangalia juu kidogo. Kidogo tu hivyo.
Jaberi, is my sound good?
Not too much. If you Gen Z bwana. Well, very good.
Kosawa.
Nice. It's very good, Minister. Don't fret.
I'm cool.
We are not here to shoot down Linda.
You've started.
Okay. People of the internet, I want to take this opportunity to welcome the TikTok lawyer, Mr. Adrian Olwach. I'm going to be asking him a lot of questions. You can take this one and use it.
Thank you.
So I was asking you a question. Yes. I was still, dialing doggy. And I was asking you, when you say that people should not be in the streets, but also it is enshrined in our constitution, so why do we have to decide for people when to go to the streets and when not to go to the streets?
We do not have to decide for the people when to be on the streets or not. The people must begin to look at the situations and then evaluate those situations and realize, well, based on what we want to achieve, can we achieve it in the streets? Yes. Based on what we want to achieve, can we achieve it while sitting on a table at the policy level? Yes. Then there are things that can take you to the streets, and there are things that should not take you to the streets, but on the policy table.
Then contextualize it for me.
Now,
about why we should not have gone to the streets.
For some of them, were saying we need to make this a public holiday. Well, if you want it to be a public holiday, how do you then make it a public holiday? You can't make it a public holiday by going to the streets every now and then.
Okay.
You can only make it a public holiday by having conversation with the current government that this is what we want. Then how then do we reach there? You now have to sit down with the policymakers and the parliament members, draft something, have a bill, take it to Parliament. If Parliament passes it, then it can become a public holiday.
Do you think that the government has got the appetite to make this a holiday?
It is not about the government having an appetite to make it a public holiday. There are laws that have been passed in Parliament that were against the government, and they have stayed. So it is not about wanting or not wanting. It's about the people's representatives saying, this is the direction we are taking as a country.
Do you think the government would like it to be a public holiday, in your opinion?
Who is the government?
The government is Mr. William Ruto, the government is Duale, the government is CS Morcom, the government is Raymond
that's not just the government. Those are just people within the government. The government is you and me, we the people. You remember, the people shall. Yes, so if the people decide, then it shall be.
But the people cannot decide. The people will have to go and with a begging bowl in front of MPs that already kidnapped, so to speak.
Jagero, I can tell you, I am one individual who has taken a proposal to a member of Parliament, and has taken it to Parliament, and it became an act of Parliament. So it is not a begging bowl. It's what do you have to put on the table? Yes. At that policy level, people must now begin to have conversations that can benefit the nation.
Would you, in your personal capacity, would you be empathetic to that cry that we want to make this a public holiday? Do you think
now, if those who want it to be a public holiday with clear reasons and the outcome, what they need to achieve, then it can be. You should be able to persuade the lawmakers who will then debate it in the floor of the House why it should be a public holiday.
1,000 youth and Gen Z are coming to your office and asking you, we want to make this a public holiday. What are you telling us as somebody who is very good in policy development and policy?
You have to have reasons. So if you have reasons, clear reasons, which I think they would be having. I don't think they would just be shouting, we want holiday without a clear reason. So they would then have that reason, then put that reason into a draft, a bill, take it to Parliament, persuade members of Parliament, let them also persuade the members of Parliament because they elected them. Then in that way, we can now have something concrete to table.
But you keep dodging the question, Mr. Kachola, and I'm losing my patience with you.
Yes.
I'm asking you, would you want this to be a public holiday? You as a person.
As an individual?
Yes.
Why not? Who doesn't love an holiday anyway?
Kajola.
Who doesn't love an holiday?
Wait, TikTok lawyer, are you going to come to my rescue and help me ask Kachola this question? By the way, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
How about you? You've been in the village for almost a week. How was the village?
The village, it's always refreshing to be in the village. I get to see, the wind. I get to
cows.
I get to talk to the dead. So it's always good to be in the village, and it gives me a lot of pleasure because there is a Luo language called omofua. Omofua is to collect what?
And collect some blessings.
Yes, collect some blessings. Yes. But maybe I should start with the question. Do you think that it should be a public holiday?
June 25th.
Yes.
It should be a public holiday. But the problem is we know definitely the government cannot allow it to be a public holiday. Who is the
government?
The government is this regime.
Okay.
But what actually constitutes a holiday, according to historical patterns of what has been termed as a holiday in Kenya, the only time the government has ever considered to put a holiday because of people who died because of a certain movement has only been about independence. That a lot of Kenyans who died, the Mau Mau and all. But similar incidents have happened. And this is not the first one. We've had Sabasaba, whereby we've had over 30 people who have died. But Sabasaba has never been a holiday, if I'm right? It has never been. So it's the same to June 25th. They would never put it out as a holiday because it goes against this regime and what it stands for or how it has been operating. So the moment you decide to put June 25th as a holiday, you now earmark it into the history of Kenya more than any other thing. And June 25th is as a result of the failures of this government and the outright disregard for the Kenyan citizens that led to the death of 100 young people. So you not see a government that would be willingly able to make it a historical public holiday because that will be constantly reminding Kenyans of their failures for the next 4 years. But for me as a Gen Z, I don't need it to be a holiday. I don't request it to be a holiday because you don't need the official gazettement of anything. If you feel like a certain day of the month or a certain day is as crucial to you, it should only come from your genuine relation to it and not necessarily from something that the government gazettes. So I'm not calling for the government to make it a public holiday. Of course not. What I'm calling is for Kenyans to see the importance of that particular day and for them to be genuinely motivated to come out to the streets every day on June 25th to commemorate the young people that we lost and what we had been able to achieve with June 25th. So if you're going to be asking me directly, I don't wish for this government to make it a public holiday and I don't call for them to make it a public holiday. I'm not asking for a favor from them.
Why are you so angry? I mean, what's going on?
I've always been angry about the government.
What is your gripe? But anyway, I want to ask you another question, which is related. We thought that Sifuna was our Raila, but he didn't show up in the streets. And Linda Mwananchi actually gave it a wide bath. What is going on? I thought you were going to be in the streets like Baba. Orengo decided to go alone on top of a motorcycle. Babu Wino, Sifuna, Pauline Njoroge, your friend, was not there. What's going on?
But why should they be there? Do you think it's a must or crucial for Sifuna to be there?
I thought so.
Absolutely not.
This was his constituency, the biggest constituency that he wanted. They were left alone in the streets. Sifuna only put a flag on Facebook, my friend.
First of all, this was a Gen Z movement.
Okay.
A movement organically coming from young people.
Okay.
It did not come from Edwin Sifuna. It did not come from Babu. It only emanated through us. In fact, the fact that Babu and Edwin Sifuna can make a conscious decision to step away from it is very important more than Orengo, who decides to show up with motorbikes and put out a certain theatrics about the entire day.
You are dismissive of what Orengo did.
I am
shocked.
I'm not dismissive.
But you're calling it theatrics.
But one of the things that we stood for in June 25th
was
the dissociation from the old political class.
Okay.
That there's an old generation of old politicians who have been in power for such a long time that we do not want to associate with them. So the moment they come out and also want to take that responsibility to feel or to send out a message like it's them who is calling out for people to show up for the protest, that is not what young people want.
Okay.
They want them to step away from it. And I like the fact that Edwin Sifuna did not just step away from it, but he led the young people of Kenya to turn up by themselves, protest, lay the flags and all. But at the same time, he's able to show solidarity
by
through social media.
By putting a flag.
By putting out a flag, like you've said.
Do you know where he was?
What?
On the 20th, yesterday. Do you know where he was?
No.
You don't?
I might not be privy to his particular location. Hey, with my throat.
You're choking.
I don't know why.
The tower of Babel is coming down.
Okay. I want to Gachagua, I don't know whether I should go back to this gentleman. Gachagua decided that he did not want the people to come out in the street. Can you get him some water? There is a water here. To get out in the street, because he said that actually there was a plan. It was a trap. He said there was a trap. I don't know. I'm going to also ask Mr. Adrian, but there was a trap so that people can be killed, people can be maimed. He actually said that Mount Kenya was being targeted, and that is the reason why he came out and said that, look, you guys should not be coming out of the streets and doing anything, because we have a feeling that CS Murkomen has withdrawn 200 million and he has distributed this to all his goons across the country, and they were going to create mayhem and then blame it on opposition. So you got to stay home, keep quiet. We have got an opportunity in 2027 to deal with Ruto once and for all, and his minion, Mr. Murkomen, and the rest of them. What do you think about that?
What did you expect him to say? Has he ever said anything that doesn't go beyond the borders of his tribe? Absolutely not. If you ask me, when he says that the government was planning to maim people, it beats logic that this very government that he gets security from, actually, his security is paid for and assigned by this very government.
Who?
Gachagua.
Under what arrangement?
He's
impeached.
Yes, but he has security.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, when he says, Gachagua knew very well that people will not show up.
For the protest.
So how then do you cover your whatever? By simply saying, don't show up. So he was doing that in anticipation that people will not show up. So by doing so, he actually covered himself up. Then when he says Mount Kenya will be targeted, Karatina, there were demonstrations. In the entire Mount Kenya region, there were demonstrations in Karatina. Karatina is where? In Nyeri. Yes, Karatina is in Nyeri. His own backyard. There were demonstrations. Then how many people then were killed because young people from Karatina went to the streets to demonstrate? How many of them were killed? How many of them were even shot at with a rubber bullet? No one. It was peaceful. People were dispersed. They went back home. I think it is more or less a waste of time talking about Gachagua and his theatrics. Yeah, I don't think it
do you think that is the issue?
First of all, I agree with this point because I'm also very tired of talking about Gachagua, especially constantly. But it seems to be a wound that does not heal, so it comes up every time we're discussing anything to do with politics. But when Gachagua came out to make his statement and tell young people and youths not to show up for the Gen Z commemoration, I would take it just as one of his theatrics to become relevant at a very crucial day or a moment. Because if June 25th was going to happen, there was a commemoration, there was a protest. There were young people in the streets. We have heard over 300 people who have been arrested. So demonstrations do happen. But, Gachagua, anytime there is something that is having the attention of the country, he must always pop up and come up with it might be right, but with a conspiracy. So that the attention must always shift to him. So there was a protest. So the attention was that Gachagua is supposed to come again. He's going to talk about figures, that there is 200 million that has been released for goons. There are people who have been sent with guns. In fact, he even typed on his Twitter that there is an MP who has a special team of DCIs who are going to kill people on June 25th. Well, he might be right, because we've seen what this government has done, which is worse. But Gachagua always makes a calculated appearances, maybe on social media, or maybe press statements, or the shows that he hosts even in his home, to always constantly get that relevancy, despite the fact that there are people who have refused to associate with him. The same way also the government has refused to associate with him is also the same way we are refusing to associate with Gachagua as young people. Because we believe that the general problems that we have been talking about in this country, he was part and parcel of it. So for me, I've always deemed any act, any time I see Gachagua online coming out to speak against something, I don't believe that he speaks out of it, or he speaks about it out of principle or virtue, but he speaks out of the constant need to remain relevant in the political space and Kenya. That is how I've always viewed Gachagua. And it seems like it is working very well, because now, like in this show today, we can't talk about Maandamano of June 25th without talking about him, because he had already made a press statement that went quite viral, talking about people not to show up. So it's working well for him. That is why Gachagua is constantly being talked about. So that is how I always see it. Political theatrics, just like he has mentioned.
But then the question is, the issue of goonism, Mr. Adrian, what do you think about it? Because you were talking about theatric, but also it is very interesting that now it looks like the united opposition is already talking about different things, And when you talk about the fact that Gachagua is
I'm not in united opposition.
Oh, is that so?
Linda Mwananchi is not allied to united opposition. We have no arrangement with the united opposition.
But there are so many voices coming.
We don't speak the same voice.
Is that so?
We don't. Sifuna told us to go and demonstrate, right?
Yes.
Babu the same, right? What did Gachagua say? We should not demonstrate. So how can you say that we are in the same page together? We are not.
So what does that mean for the unity of a one presidential candidate to take Ruto home to Sugoi? What is going on?
The unity of a one presidential candidate is something that does not spawn from Linda Mwananchi. That is something that mostly spawn from the united opposition, because it works in their favor, not for us. For us, we know that we have the genuine support of Kenyans. So they know that for them to tap into that crucial sector of young people, Gen Zs, or people who love Babu and Sifuna, they have to talk about a united opposition, a grand united opposition with one candidate against Ruto. That's the only time they will get the support of young people, but they have no any other genuine way of getting the support from us. So that discussion of having a one presidential candidate only comes from them. For us as Linda Mwananchi, we are very confident that even if we had our own presidential candidate without having to align with the united opposition, we can still win the presidential election.
That's a very bold statement.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you are saying that you bring Sifuna out, deputized by anybody, Pauline Njoroge or Babu, you are taking over the government.
Absolutely.
So that means you are the first horse on the lane, or the second horse on the lane, or the third horse on the lane.
We will be the replacement
of every horse.
Of every horse.
How does that make you feel, somebody from government, that the opposition is already talking about them and us? What does that make you feel? I mean, are you twiddling your thumbs, or
Jagero.
Yes.
many Kenyans expect us to have very concrete and fundamental discussions which are burning. Many of them are now asking Ruto is in
Madagascar.
Antananarivo.
Yes.
What is he up to?
Those
are things we should be telling Kenyans.
Are you?
Lakini,
but I asked you.
This one. Mambo ya, it's called Linda Mwananchi.
Come on. Come on, but be respectful to your fellow horse.
I'm just
fellow horse.
Like you are the
in farasi. Hii hapa ni farasi, bro. Hapana ongea hivyo.
I think the less we talk about.
Do you actually think that Sifuna, Babu and Co does not amount to anything? Then why have you guys been tear gassing them?
The people in government are confident because they know that they have the resources. They not believe, but maybe they have the system to steal. So when I tell you that we are confident that we can win an election and he brushes me out, it is not because they are a viable option for Kenyans. Absolutely not. It's because they are very confident. In fact, that is the thing about people who are two-term movement. They are so confident that Ruto has the ability to win in 2027, whether he has the support of Kenyans or not. So when I say that there's a presidential candidate called Babu, they laugh because they know, we control the IBC.
Yeah, and I'm very concerned because if you listen to Ruto going fire and blood against the standard, he's a man that is pushed against the wall. And when you come and say that it is all rosy on your side, I don't believe you are.
President Moi once told us in this country. Hii watu ya magazeti watakuja kuchoma inchi. Yes. Uhuru told us hii gazeti isiwasumbue, hii ni ya kufunga nyama. President Ruto has been very kind with his words on media because he understands there is the freedom of media and the space of media in any growing democracy and even the grown democracies, developed democracies. So as far as the opposition is concerned, Linda Mwananchi, we wish them well. If they make good competition, it makes our democracy mature up. It's a good spice in the race. Kenyans shall decide and decide decisively based on the scorecard. Nothing else.
But I want to ask you a question. How do you beat Linda Mwananchi? How do you beat Gachagua? What is the math that you're using? Because it looks like you do not see them as any sort of competition. And I think that is not
competition to President William Ruto.
Yes.
Based on
we have Sifuna, who is a very strong candidate.
What is the arithmetic that makes them a competition? And let us be honest. What is the arithmetic that makes them a competition?
Okay, so let's start with Gachagua then. Gachagua has taken out Ruto's 5 million votes effectively, has he not? And then the Gen Z that you're trying to run after, which you, by the way, tear-gassed and maimed in 2024, are actually coming in their numbers, more than 5 million. And they're not going to give you anything. So then, what are you left with? What
about the general Kenyans? The general Kenyans who are disappointed. Leave alone Jesus.
Yes.
Now
people who are disappointed.
Who are disappointed by the government.
And I want to understand, when people keep throwing these blocks, Mount Kenya block, Gen Z block, let me ask you. When former deputy president was impeached, was Mount Kenya impeached?
No.
It was him.
Yes.
When he was impeached by Parliament and Senate, is there any government program or project in Mount Kenya region that stopped because he was impeached?
No.
Absolutely not. So how come is being out of office becomes a problem to a common man in Mount Kenya, whether is there or not? Whatever projects that were lined up by government are running. How does that become someone's problem? Awanjiku's problem in Mount Kenya? How? And people are very smart. Yes. It is the same guy who told us, sio rahisi, hii kazi sio rahisi kumaliza na miaka 5, inahitaji miaka 10. It is him, not anyone else. William did not tell us so. It is him who told us. So, actually, how come the government was so pretty, nice, good, this beautiful thing when he was inside? The moment he went out, it all of a sudden became bad. I don't think, to me, these blocks people throw around here and there. Let me tell you, you know how people vote.
Okay.
And it is only in 2022 that people shied away from that pattern. People have been voting in this country ethnically. And people shied away from it in 2022 because William Ruto and Raila Odinga garnered votes almost in equal measure across the country. It clearly showed that it was not about the ethnicity arithmetic. And that is what the president has always been calling on, that we need not to vote based on our ethnicity. We need to vote based on our track records. He will put bare his in fact, he doesn't even need to put it bare. If you go to each and every county in this country, there is something that you will see being done by the government. And people keep asking, what was Uhuru doing with our money? Yes, because you see mega projects and you ask yourself, so all these are being done without Eurobond. Okay, then what were we doing with Eurobond then?
So honestly, you think that Ruto is still going to have the 3.8 million votes that he got?
Real election, Jagero, is 2032. And anyone who is seriously eyeing presidency in this country, apart from William Ruto, should eye 2032.
Okay, then give me your math, because you asked me about my math and I gave you my math. What is your math?
Our math is simply the scorecard. You put it on the table and they see it. They relate with it.
But what is your math?
The math is the people of Kenya. It's not about ethnic balkanization. It's not about region. It's about the people. Because when you talk about services, SHA, for example, I know have been a beneficiary. I know people who have benefited from it. I just had a cousin's wife who was operated on at a cost of 120,000. SHA paid around 62,000. You know, it was 82. SHA paid 62,000. He only raised the rest.
Half of it.
Nearly half.
But I thought SHA was covering everything. Suddenly, now it's a half.
Based on the kind of operation. So there are things that are covered. And people do not know, one thing that people do not know in this country is, if you cannot pay completely, the hospital you are in should write a letter telling SHA that Jagero cannot afford to pay completely. And therefore, it will be waived for you. And you will pay nothing. William Ruto has done tangible things that people can see and relate with. And people will elect him overwhelmingly based on that.
Let me understand. You are feeling that as a country, we are going to a space whereby we are not going to play the politics of personalities. If you had a problem with His Excellency the President, Dr. William Ruto, then that's your personal problem with him. You got impeached, you kicked out of government, that is your problem. Please go sit down somewhere, take tea, and figure it out. All right, but not bring the entire Mount Kenya into it. That is what should be going on. So then there is another question that people are saying, that Mr. Rigathi Gachagua has actually poisoned the ground, and therefore a lot of people in the Mount Kenya region are very unhappy with what is going on. Sorry. So is that truly the case?
You know, when you want to win over people, you must advance a certain narrative. And now that narrative is being advanced to doing people that surely Mount Kenya is gone and gone completely. But gone because of what reason? Don't we have ministers, PSS, directors, ambassadors, all manner of government appointees from Mount Kenya? So you want to tell me, for example, today, Ishungwa has 0 votes in his constituency?
Difficult to say.
Difficult to say.
Yeah.
But do you believe Ishungwa has people who believe in him and the direction he gives is what they will take?
I do believe so, but I have a feeling. I have a feeling that there is a lot of, because we have always known that somebody like Gachagua holds a lot of sway in Mount Kenya, and a lot of people listen to him. And my assumption is that perhaps they are saying that, look, we think that this guy, just for example, if you go to Luoland, when Raila was the kingpin of Luoland before his unfortunate passing, Raila would say things. Okay? Even the other day, Gachagua stood up, not the other day, I think in the second financial bill of 2023, he said that he bill itapitishwa because you don't have the numbers. But how did he know that he has the numbers? Because he has told his MPs, his allied MPs, that we are going to vote for you. And so the question is, and I think you are very dishonest when you say that Mount Kenya has not been poisoned by His Excellency, the former Deputy President, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua.
If you think I've been dishonest, or I'm being dishonest, let me be honest. At least for once, you will agree with me. Now, you will agree with me for once.
Yes.
Who impeached Rigathi Gachagua?
The MPs.
The MPs.
Yes.
How many MPs are from Mount Kenya?
Many who impeached him.
Many who impeached him.
Yes.
So tell me, are those people not from Mount Kenya, or are they from Coast? Those MPs who impeached him. How come when he was being haunted out of office, such a powerful office, his own people haunted him out? Okay, tell me, what is the logic? Then how popular is he that his own MPs, his own people from his own backyard haunted him out? Yes.
That is problematic. But do you think what do you think about that as a Gen Z?
Now, how truthful am I, or how dishonest now am I? With that fact,
I was reading a lot of dishonesty, but only a fool doesn't change his mind. I've quickly changed my mind, and I'm going to this gentleman. The guy is putting me to task and asking me the numbers. What do you think is Ruto's numbers in 2020, 2027? Because he believes that everybody that actually voted for Ruto is going to vote for him once again. Especially the 3.8 million strong Mount Kenya people that he has been tear gassing. I mean, that's what Gachagua is saying.
One part that I would not agree with him. Definitely, for sure, somebody like Gachagua lacks democratic legitimacy as a deputy president if you're not able to get the MPs who got into power to prevent an impeachment of yourself. That is true. But these people are already elected. But one thing that Gachagua has been very successful with is to tear down the good name that Ruto has been having with Mount Kenya, or the good relations. He has been able to foster a narrative that has really hurt Ruto in Mount Kenya, which is very true. Yes, the representatives that were elected might be highly allied to Ruto, like Kimani Ichung'wah and these other leaders. That is quite true, but these are just representatives. But if you go to Mount Kenya, speak to the people who are there. What are they really talking about Ruto? Are they really talking as much as they did with so much enthusiasm in 2021 about Ruto as they do right now? It is not the same. In a place like Embu that gave almost 90% of their votes to someone like Ruto, it has been a place that has been plagued with one of the most brutal protests that we've ever seen. And even in June 2024, we had the office of the governor being banned. So the narrative of Ruto has really been so bad with the people in Mount Kenya. And one thing about the people in the rural area, it is very easy to drive a certain narrative, which Gachagua is very good at. Not the narrative that he's trying to drive that, Ruto has done this for the people of Mount Kenya. They only care about the roadside insults that Gachagua has been very good at peddling with. So if you analyze it from that point, and not just the representatives of Mount Kenya, Ruto has really lost it when it comes to the Mount Kenya vote. Yeah. Which was about, you've talked about?
3.8.
3.8 or 4 million that voted for him. But aside from that, you go to another place. The only place that I would allude that William Ruto will definitely have a majority of votes is his backyard. Because as a country, we are definitely plagued by the tribal indoctrination that at no single time will the people of Kalenjin vote against their own people, which I hope it changes with the young people.
You think the Gen Z in Rift Valley are not going to vote for Mr. Sifuna?
I know the Gen Zs who want the best for this Kenya are going to definitely vote for Mr. Sifuna. But making an honest reality, because we still are so far with emancipating people from this tribal indoctrination that we have. So there are people who are still indoctrinated with the issues of tribe, Mtuwetu concept. So a lot of them will vote for William Ruto. And we'll see it in Rift Valley, where Ruto might get the majority of votes. It might not be as much.
Let me ask you, Jagero. Let me just cut Adrian short.
You are allowed.
We've had by-elections.
Yes.
How many has been won by Gachagua?
I knew you'd say that.
Yeah, but I think honestly, you are talking about apples and oranges.
But listen, let's talk about that.
Is it not?
You may think I'm talking about apples and oranges. And Adrian just mentioned something.
Because so far there is Ruto's name is not on any ballot box.
Ruto's name is not on any ballot box.
But
Ruto's party, Ruto's vehicle that gave him power, that has still put him in power today, is where?
Yes, on the box.
On the ballot. If you don't want Jagero, you don't want his and everything to do with Jagero, his glasses is
the only place we could actually say that Ruto for sure took in the by-elections was just in Mount Kenya East, where the backyard of Kindiki. Where else has he?
Where he mentioned Embu and all.
But to rebut that, it is a fatal mistake for you to say that an indication of Ruto's support in Mount Kenya is the by-election, without turning a key focus on what did these people do in order for them to win. A small constituency, like in Embu, there was an allegation of the government spending more than 700 million shillings to bribe voters. If you go to the ground there and talk to people, they might say this is an allegation. Go and talk to the people in Embu when the by-election was being held. In almost 3 occasions where the campaigns were held, each and every person was given 3,000 shillings, a bag of maize, and a bag of sugar. Almost 3 times. So they spent on almost every member of that constituency an amount of over 10 or 15,000. Aside from that, they ferried even people from different places in buses to go out and vote.
How do you vote from a place that you don't
No. Listen. There are people who are registered there, but they were ferried specifically to vote on that day. Another allegation, allegedly, the agents from the opposing parties, they were kicked out of those polling stations, not to be given an opportunity to oversee how the voter counting happened. It happened across so many polling stations.
Malpractice.
The malpractice. It happened along so many. And there were agents who were coming out to talk about, they have been denied and they've been kicked out of a polling station. If one agent alone comes out and says he has been denied an access to one polling station, what is the validity of that election?
It is very so. It is. There is a question I wanted to ask you before you. Do you think then? Because I'm going back to your earlier point when you are giving your rejoinder in as far as the 3.8 million votes are concerned. Do you think it's honest?
Honest in terms of
honest that
Ruto has support in Mount Kenya. What I think he's not being honest. With the general feeling or the general support of the people of Mount Kenya. You should have asked him this question. Do you think, leave alone the representative, do you think the 3.8 million people who voted for William Ruto have the same support they had for him back in 2021? It would be a different answer.
And I think that you would rather turn his back on the truth. But anyway, that is not a problem. But I want to go I want to go back to him.
You see this kind of narration. This is the very kind of narration and consolation we used to have with Jacom.
With ODM.
Yes. Until election day. We used to see dust every election.
Okay.
Because we used to delude ourselves in some figures that never existed.
Yeah.
Oh, Meru will support us. Oh, where are you?
If you can't beat them, join them. That's what you're doing. If you can't beat them, join them.
We don't have a competition in 2027.
I agree with you to some extent that there is no competition because if you hear Adrian talking about some of his friends in the United Opposition, he has even distanced himself from United Opposition, which is very, very, very interesting and worrying because now...
Because Sifuna says, okay, for us to beat William, we have to unite. The same language Rigathi says.
And then as the executive person in that same camp,
himself
is
from
distancing himself. What has gone wrong? Was there a night meeting somewhere, Adrian, that you know of that you want to exclusively tell?
While speaking to Jagero exclusively.
They told me to be careful with Jagero. Even in the comments, they used to say, Adrian, be careful with Jagero. Jagero asked me, where do you guys get the money for campaign? Give us your bank account.
I want us to play Murkomen. Murkomen who was very upbeat after he put barbed wire all over Nairobi. Murkomen was very upbeat. Do you want to say something as they look for him? Have you got anything? He's got something.
Now,
wacha to play hii alafu tuendelee.
Demonstrations. First, I would like to commend all Kenyans for heeding the government's call to maintain peace and go about their daily activities. As I said yesterday, today was a working day like any other day, working and school day like any other day, and I want to thank all Kenyans. I don't need across the country, acting on credible intelligence that goons were being ferried from other parts of the country to cause breach of peace in Nairobi. Our security agencies took measures to protect businesses in the city and avert chaos. Security screening was therefore mounted on major roads into the city this morning to keep the would-be troublemakers at bay. As a result, relative calm prevailed in the city and its environs. We regret the inconvenience occasioned by these measures and at the same time appreciate their effectiveness in securing the city and other parts of...
Mr. Adrian, I really like the responsibility that the government is taking currently. I think Murkomen is not saying the truth when he says that yesterday was another working day. Well,
that is why I have
we
a
could
problem
not
with this
actually
government.
access town.
Actually, this government
and
is...
most of the roads were on lockdown.
Let me just pick you on that.
Mr. Kachola, why are you guys doing that, man?
Was your crew even able to get to work?
No. Yeah, Vasht was blocked in Ongatarongai. The other one was blocked in Thika. This one could not come from.
Do you have tags for your crew?
Huh?
Do you have tags for your crew? When they come to work, they can say, I work at...
but they don't have their own vehicles. And then transportation was blocked.
No, people
there were no matatus to town, bro. You see, that is the problem when you talk when you climb down from State House and start talking to Kenyans. There are some things that you forget. There are actually matatus in this country.
Now,
okay, go ahead.
Number one, there is what we call intelligence sharing.
Okay.
And Nairobi is not just for Kenya alone. Nairobi is for the entire world.
Okay.
And every other intelligent around will share whatever intelligence they have on what's going on.
Yeah.
So intelligence gathering and sharing is very important. And that is why no police can act without intelligence. So for police to act the way they acted, then they must have gotten credible intelligence, both from the Kenyan intelligence system and other partners that share their intelligence about what is going to happen.
Yeah.
We know what happened in the past two demonstrations, and therefore it is upon the police and the security apparatus of this country to take precautionary measures. Would you have loved to see a chaotic CBD? or would you love to see a CBD that no looting takes place, businesses are safe and all that, and people's lives are preserved? Jagero, outside CBD, life was going on as usual. Actually, it is only CBD that was blockaded because of what I've shared. But outside CBD, people were going about their businesses as usual. Shops were operating, businesses were on. So I don't think it is in bad taste for government to act based on intelligence that they have to prevent maybe something that would have happened.
Yes. I have a different view.
Yeah, but that's what I wanted to ask you. I know you live next to the UN headquarters, but your girlfriend in Githurai, was she able to come out?
Yeah, I stay at Kiambu Road. Murkomen is talking about having an intelligence of goons. But if you were at that blockade, I was at that blockade in my Uber. They were not allowing anybody to go to town. Whether you look like a goon or you did not look like a goon, it was impossible at Kiambu Road. The same happened to Thika. Even if you are a normal person in a suit going back to a law firm early in the morning, you would not be allowed to pass. In fact, they stated that CBD is out of bounds. So you're asking, how comes you're saying that there is intelligence of goons? So the best method for it is to prevent anyone from coming to town, including the ones who you assured that today is going to be a normal working day. Please go to work. So you prevented all these people from coming to work. In fact, the reason why CBD did not have people is not because people were afraid of the protests. It is because the government prevented them from coming from CBD, even the people who were not going to protest.
Jagero, sometimes we got to be very factual and truthful.
Okay.
He's saying people did not come to CBD. But we saw people laying right at Parliament building. We saw parents of people who lost their lives within CBD. We have two different CBDs in this city.
You know, one thing about blockading is that you can never blockade everyone. These blockades happened in a couple of protests, but there was a way we still found to get to CBD.
Yeah.
So even a road blockade.
And those were the people that wanted to actually go and lay the rats. But the people that were actually wanting to go to Uganda House and work or eat food at cafe, they were not able to go there.
So how then do you differentiate that this one is going to lay a rate, this one is... Those who wanted to come to CBD...
But that is the point.
We have to agree to one thing.
That is the point.
What was making headlines?
The point is that Murkomen could not differentiate goons from people who are going to Uganda House to work, or to Art Cafe, or to remove money from KCB.
No, the person who prevented people from coming to CBD was Murkomen himself. People did not come to CBD because of the fear of protest or they were absconding work. There was a very heavy traffic jam on Thika Road from this side, from Safari Park, all the way to Juja. One of the largest traffic
because they attempted to come,
yes,
and then they had no time.
And in fact, the people who were coming were just normal matatus and normal drivers who were driving to work. All those people had to drive back from 8 a.m. up around 11 a.m. Everybody had to make a U-turn.
Are you going to apologize to Kenyans?
The same happened to Kiambu Road. Kiambu Road was Kiambu Road was closed somewhere from Ridgeways. Ridgeways is the access that you get to Muthaiga.
Yeah.
So anyone coming from Kiambu Road, Runda, could not access to enter CBD. You had to drive back. We had to drive back. The only people who made it to CBD, they only made it to CBD later in time. And I'm talking from about afternoon. That is when they relaxed the restrictions.
Yeah.
So
because they knew everybody had gotten tired.
Because they knew that now the people who wanted to come in the morning could no longer come.
Yeah. But you want to say something very urgent.
The goons who the goons had captured correctly had been barred from getting into the city.
Okay.
And now the people who genuinely wanted to get to the CBD got to CBD, did what they wanted, and went back home. Period. There's nothing to talk about there, Jagero. We don't need to...
I would like you to apologize to Kenyans for blocking the road. for using barbed wire to block the road And then for also telling people, do you know, can I tell you where the road was blocked, Mr. Kachola? You know, this government apologies were in the house drinking whiskey.
No, Jagero.
Can I tell you exactly where the road was blocked? On Kenyatta Avenue. So you go from, because we are literally in town. We are next to Uhuru Park. I saw everything that was happening yesterday. In fact, we made so many rounds with Mr. What is his name? Joaquim.
So you came to town?
Huh?
So you came to town?
Yes.
How did you get to town?
Because they know us.
They actually recognize Jagero.
Yes,
Jagero
they know us and they know Joaquim.
Jagero, you came to town because you had genuine business to do. Right? And that's how you came to town. So if Adrian
I'll set up myself.
No, Jagero came to town because he's a famous person.
Yes.
Not everyone is famous.
Ask you, those mothers, those young girls who came to lay rape at Parliament, who know them? Who know them in this country? Probably their families and their villages where they come from. They were all new faces to all of us in Kenya. Honestly, they came, did what they were supposed to do. Martha Karua came to the city, to the CBD.
Yeah.
Yes. You came to the CBD, Jagero. So today,
they're telling me that you should put the mic a little bit to your right.
Okay.
The mic, yes. That's really.
So Jagero, let us just agree.
Okay.
Government don't work outside intelligence. They don't work by feeling that we feel. They don't work out. The government don't work out of we think. No. Government acts based on intelligence.
But can I ask you a question and give me an answer, please? And I'm telling you the roadblock that was there, and I want to ask you why was the roadblock there? Can I ask you? So you know the roundabout, the city mortuary roundabout.
Yes.
Sloping down into Hurlingham.
Yes.
That road was blocked. Why? Why would you block that road?
Jagero, how many times must we belabor this one simple point?
Yes.
That government acts on intelligence. And you will agree with me that not all roads were blocked. They blocked strategic roads based on intelligence.
Main arteries. Out of the wood.
And who are these goons? Where were these goons coming from?
And by the way, how Murkomen knew that there were going to be goons, right?
Out of intelligence. Yes.
And out of that intelligence, who were bringing these goons? Were these goons coming to steal? Or were these goons brought by Gachagua? Or who are they?
More than...
Because the only goons we know
times
are government goons. The only time we've had goons at the CBD are goons who were brought by the government. The last time we were protesting for Albert Ojwang, there were over 200 goons in CBD.
Okay.
Walking side by side with the police officers with the rungus.
No. And I want to state this. I think this has been a misconception throughout.
Yes.
That whenever you see people with rungus in town during Maandamano, you mistake them for being goons. Yesterday, Jagero, you can watch on any channel that covered the protest in Nyeri. In Nyeri town, there was no single protest. Nobody went to the streets. And you know what? The business community in that area went to the police and told them that we know the numbers are not enough. Allow us take care of our businesses. And he said it on camera that we went out and had our rungus, we protected our businesses, and we told anyone, if you are going to break into our businesses, it's upon you and your body. You will feel it on your body. Were those goons? They were just people who even reported to the police and told them, based on the numbers we know from this police station, you cannot manage when these goons come to destroy our businesses. Allow us protect our businesses. We are helping you as you also help us. Now, how come
that is another fabricated lie?
This is not a lie. Actually, this is them telling this story. This is the business community telling their story.
And
therefore, it is utterly wrong to suggest that there are people in this city who are goons who are hired by government. Government is there to protect you, not to kill you.
No. You know that we cannot pretend that these were hired by business community. And I remember quite well when we were having the protest. On the shops of those businesses, there were people who were standing in front of those doors and they were holding those rungus. those were the people who are protecting the business of those business community. The goons we are talking about, Jagero, are goons where we see over 50 motorcycles with people who are masked and people with those rungus. And they all just look the same in a certain way. They have a certain distinct appearance. And all those people were moving around town. So you tell me, Jagero, how are you protecting your business that is in Isili by having over 50 goons in motorcycles patrolling the entire CBD? Is there a mode of protection coming after anyone who's at any point? Does that analogy
make sense?
No, that is how the goons were operating. You know,
Jagero,
he's making it feel like goons were protecting a business whereby they were standing...
Whose business are goons protecting, by the way?
Who is goon?
No, didn't we have goons?
To me, this narrative of goons, I don't think it is even a good narrative to advance.
But do you think there is a goon pandemic in this country?
I think that there is a serious problem with politicians and leaders misusing young people to score political mileage, or to gain some political mileage or settle some political scores.
Yeah.
But I don't think this Jagero, today, if you are protecting your business, today, who would just allow themselves to be called goons? Who?
No one.
Who will just be happy to be called a goon?
No, it is a false narrative for you to say that the people we are calling goons were actually protecting the businesses of those
Jagero,
business holders.
At what point, Mr. Kachola, did we have a country where businesses are protected by citizens in a working government? How does that happen?
Thank you. How many police officers do we have in Kenya? Slightly below 150,000.
Okay.
How many Kenyans do we have?
60 million, 50 million.
50 million.
The census is not out, coming in 2029.
Let's even have 200,000 police officers,
okay,
hypothetically, which is not.
Okay.
Distribute them across the country.
All right.
From Todonyang to Mfangano Island.
All right.
From
Where is Todonyang?
Todonyang is in Turkana. Yes. From Vanga to somewhere in Nyatike, Wutogik.
Okay.
How then are you going to have all these officers manage? Imagine at that point, there are officers allocated to VIPs. There are officers allocated to protect critical government installations.
Okay.
There are officers who are allocated to do various things, far-flung of this country. We cannot have officers everywhere all the time as we would wish.
Okay.
And that is why you even saw the president say, last year, they recruited over 10,000 police officers.
Okay.
The first largest recruitment, over 10,000. Why? Because they wanted to meet at least the globally accepted number of security officers to human population. So we can't have them everywhere. Therefore, the people have seen individuals vandalizing shops, individuals who are not even demonstrators. By the way, there are two distinct people. People who go to demonstrate and people who take advantage of the demonstrations. And I normally use a very good example. When Matatu Owners Association said, we are not going to go to the streets. We are not going to operate. We are going to stay home. Did we see them on the streets or they stayed at home? They stayed at home. What happened? Individuals who were just after destroying and malicious individuals went to the street, began looting shops. Shops were looted. Particular one in Nyeri was vandalized. They broke into that supermarket, stole, I think it is Ketia supermarket, stole items from it. Those who are working there, we saw what happened in Kitengela the other day. And imagine, those were not demonstrators. So, did you want to see such an incident repeat itself again?
Can I ask you a question?
How irresponsible can the government be to allow people vandalize burn down people's businesses, and then you clap that we have had a demonstration. Those are not demonstrators, and those are the characters that the government said, no, based on intelligence that we have, we must save Kenyans from losing their businesses to this tax.
So this is a scenario, right? Yes. We are not a banana republic. We are not Haiti. And you have got goons, quote unquote, coming out to protect businesses.
Not goons.
With rungus and jembes.
If you are protecting your business, Jagero, are you a goon?
How do you protect your business, by the way? You stand by the door.
That is what
with
they
what?
Need. That is what they
with
need.
What?
With the rungu.
And then when the goons come in, you land the rungu on their head.
now look at this.
and that is the Kenya.
That is another illegality.
Now, Jagero, I want us to, sometimes we talk as if we are from Mars.
But you see now, there is a place I'm going to. Because you are telling me very well, and it makes sense when I start hearing you. Then it begins to lose a lot of sense to me, because now you're saying, you started by saying you are the one going on, but let's figure it out a little bit.
Yes.
So you're saying that we have police that is not able to properly take care of Kenyans.
The other day, enough.
Yes, the other day, Alai was telling me that in Kileleshwa, the amount of policemen that was allocated to that area is 50. That was done before 1990, and is still going on up to now. So it means a place that has ballooned and swelled almost 50 times is still being taken care of by officers that were supposed to be taking care of just a handful of people several years ago. Okay? Alai also told me that those officers do not have a vehicle to their name. The entire Kileleshwa area. Okay? And this is the scenario that perhaps you're painting again to me. And I'm asking myself, okay, there are two issues here that I want to prosecute. Number one is that you're saying that because we do not have enough officers, we are going to source for this guy who is paying his own taxes for the protection of the police to go and buy the rungu in a supermarket and then stand in front of his shop to protect his shop. But he's also having a government that was elected overwhelmingly in 2022. Number two, you look at this situation again and you go back to the budget where everything else is there for everybody to see. You realize that the intelligence and the military has been given more than 500 billion. And now the question you are asking yourself, okay, why are we giving the military and we are not at war? The intelligence, and we are not having a big problem, more than 500 billion, but we don't have enough police. But also, you are giving 15 billion to State House.
Thank you, Jagero.
So I am wondering...
I think you've asked a very pertinent question.
Yeah.
That requires a very crisp answer.
Yes.
And I shall give it to you. Yes.
So what is the problem?
Number one, Jagero, world politics or any nation is run based on intelligence, purely intelligence.
Yes.
You do not know who your enemy is till you get to know them.
Okay.
And at all costs, any government that cannot invest in intelligence will come down crumbling like yesterday. Because it is intelligence where you get to know what Jagero is thinking when he goes to take his tea or his uji at Nyakachi.
Yes.
Where you get to know what is happening within and without your country that could have a direct or indirect impact on you. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with that kind of allocation. In fact, if you go globally, the heaviest funding that is done by any government is done on security. And majorly...
Which security?
Intelligence.
Because when we talk about police, we are talking about the internal security of the country.
Now, you cannot secure yourself internally if you've not secured yourself from the borders. First, what you must do as a nation...
So the borders first?
You first ensure that the people, what defines a state and what marks out a state is clearly protected. That state is protected from any any aggression from outside.
So we protect ourselves from Uganda and Rwanda and the Congo.
Yes.
But that's where we spend our money, but not on the goons.
No. You've not understood it.
Okay.
First, you ensure that any aggression from outside is deterred.
Okay.
Then now you come in. Because you see, you cannot begin from inside when you are not certain what will come from outside. You cannot fund the police because the police will not do you the shielding. Those who do you the shielding from any aggression from outside is the defense. But you again asked a very good question about...
But can we stop there a little bit before you go to the second one? For how long do you think we have any active threat from outside our borders?
Continuously.
From who?
Continuously.
From
known to unknown.
From Somalia?
From known to unknown, Jagero. Yes.
From Somalia?
I want to refer you to one this beautiful book by Donald Rumsfeld, the former Defense Secretary of the United States.
Okay.
From unknown to unknown. If you can't protect yourself from any external aggression, you may not even protect yourself from internal aggression. Now, you talked about security not being enough, and therefore, how then do we protect ourselves?
Yeah.
Jagero,
because we are saying that everybody should take up arms.
Every building in this town and everywhere in this country has a private security guard at the door. True or false? Ever asked yourself, why do we have private security guards everywhere, including in government offices?
You are deflecting.
No, I'm not deflecting. I'm coming there. We have these private security guards everywhere. Reason being, it is knowledge. It is in the knowledge of everybody in Kenya, including leaders within government, that the government might not be able to be everywhere all the time. Therefore, they allowed private security firms to do what? To recruit and train, and it is even now in the law. We have the Private Security Whatever Act that guides these guys, how they operate. If you go even to any developed country, in fact, they invest heavily on private securities. If you go to the US, if you go to Russia, if you go to everywhere, in fact, it's even bigger in those countries. Therefore, we should acknowledge that we do not have this. And therefore, it is only proper that the government does what we call as deterrence of any possible interference with people's businesses, as they did.
But we started very well, and then you shifted to another thing altogether. But anyway, I want to go back to Mr. Aden. Mr. Aden, what do you think about
goons?
Because Mr. Kachola refuses. He has a big problem.
I have some point.
Because he's saying that now we should be having rungus by each and every person should take up arms and protect their businesses. I don't know what you feel about that.
Totally, that cannot happen. That is the reason why we have a structure of the law. In fact, he has also mentioned the issue of private security. There is a reason why we have an act that guides on how you can provide private security for your own property. You cannot just hire anyone out of nowhere and put them around your property and state that is security. You've already mentioned the Private Act itself, Private Security Act. So that is an act that is unlawful. There is a law that guides for you to have someone who will be given the permissible legality for them to hit someone when they invade your home or your business. But Jagero, the issue of goon is not actually being taken with the seriousness it actually deserves. Because if you look at any authoritarian regime, you look at Syria during the Assad regime, they used to have some group that is called Shabiha. If you look at Sudan, they used to have a group that is called Janjaweed. All this group started as goonism, like we are just seeing in Kenya, whereby a group of young people are gotten to go and frustrate people who are opposing the government.
Yeah.
And what happens to these groups? These groups eventually evolve, and they evolve into rebel militia. So the reason why the government or a government that has failed its people consistently always wants to use goons is because of two key reasons. Number one is something that we call plausible deniability. When the government gets goons to attack someone, it is easier for them to deny it and say that it is not them who did that act, that it is only a group of people who are not associated with the government, like it happened here at the All Saints Cathedral. The government denied and said those were just a group of rowdy youths who are not associated with the government, the same way is doing it. So it gives them the possible reason of plausible deniability on it. But the most important reason why they use goons is they want to create fear without repression, whereby they create a certain sense of indirect authoritarianism, whereby they are able to create fear, but not with the institutions of government, but with people who are just the same as me, the normal citizens, so that there is a certain sense of fear with the citizens and prevent them from speaking against the government. The other reason why they get goons is for them to circumvent legal restrictions. You know very well that the reason why we are having police being held accountable today in court is because there is a certain legal guideline when it comes to handling protesters. We've had a lot of policemen who have ended up in court or have been sanctioned by international human rights organizations, even in other countries, even generals belonging to armies. So they want to use a parallel militia or goons here in Kenya so that they can circumvent that legal restriction, whereby they're able to get people in town, they're able to kill people, and when that happens, it can never be blamed on the government. It will always be blamed on those goons.
Do you think that it is now obvious that if the police were to come out and batter people, then that would be bad press for the government? Therefore, government is hiding behind these goons. I mean,
absolutely, that is what I'm saying. It is plausible deniability that they're able to comfortably do it and deny that it is not them, even though we know clearly that these goons are actually sent by the member of parliament of Langata Jalango. They're sent by a certain member of parliament from Mount Kenya region. We clearly know, we all know that these goons are sent by these government officials. But we cannot hold them accountable because they're able to deny it. Because they're not uniform officers, they're not employed by the government in any way. So it gives them that power to easily deny anything, even if we know clearly that these goons are sent by the government.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Kachola, even as you give a rejoinder to what the gentleman has said? Do you have a feeling like, okay, Ruto is not sitting, the president is not sitting somewhere in State House and saying, look, I want you to send goons to town today. Murkomen is not sitting somewhere. Do you think that there are elements in the government that are a bit too excited? That hii nitafanyia tu rais hata asipojua tutafanyia tu yeye aone tumedeal na hiyo kitu, tumwambie kesho akiamuka.
I like how you put it.
Just sarcastic.
One thing we must do is to condemn any act by anyone outside the premises of the law.
Yeah.
If you are acting outside the law, you ought to be condemned, and proper legal channels must be followed. Who acts or who doesn't act on behalf of somebody? I don't think, to me, someone can wake up and say, Jagero, can you today, with all your senses, wake up and say you are going to organize some young boys and then you send them to go and beat Kachola because you don't like Kachola's nose, so that because maybe the president said, Kachola, you breathe a lot of oxygen in the room, so you beat up Kachola. Do you think you do it for the president? Yeah, and if the president gets to know that you are doing such a thing, do you think he will be happy, man?
I'm not sure.
Because you are certain of something. You can't say you're not sure. You must be certain of something, definitely. But what my point here is...
It was a question, yes, that sometimes, even Odhiambo said, actually, here, Odhiambo is
a government apologist.
Is a government man. He said that there are elements within government that are too excited, that have got money lying around.
then those guys must be very lucky. Yani, there are people in this country who just have money lying around.
Yeah.
While you are here struggling to get money.
But there is a lot there. There is a lot of money coming from the government. Mrengo wako. Mrengo wa kulia.
Now, Jagero, let us get to the bottom of this.
Okay.
Anyone acting outside the law should be condemned.
Yeah.
The law itself should be applied on them, so that we don't have a country where anyone can wake up and do what they wish at any time of the day. 2, we must also understand that we have a problem with young people not having opportunities. Because, you know, Jagero, this country churns out 1 million young people into the job market every single year. Every single year, 1 million people. Then how then do we cater for these people? So that at least, because we do not have opportunities that can absorb 1 million people every year.
And how has the government done with creating employment
very
so
good.
far?
Thank you. And I brought in that because I knew you would ask that question. So I will.
So he's saying I've trapped myself.
You've simply gotten into my trap.
Okay.
The government is doing all it can to find spaces and opportunities for young people through skills and real opportunities. Jagero, to date, we have many young Kenyans flying outside this country in the most structured way through government after hue and cry of young Kenyans being killed in the Middle East. So today, the government has ensured that going to work outside this country is properly managed, not just by the government, but even those agencies are now known. What agency recruits who, for what reason, and to which country. That doesn't mean you will not find unscrupulous people still doing their backdoor deals here and there and getting young people out of this country in the most clandestine way. But today the government is ensuring that people secure jobs outside. There's a program run by the Department of Diaspora in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs called Kazi Maju, Munguzi Maju. These are real opportunities. And for you to know that these things are happening, Jagero, by 2021, we had foreign remittances standing at around it was around 5.3 billion US dollars back into the country. Today, it is at 7. Actually, it was 3 billion US dollars. Today, 2026, it stands at 7 billion. Nearly
2 billion.
3 billion on top. Nearly double.
It is only in Kenya that
so let me just land. I know where you are headed to, but let me just land.
How do you know where I'm headed?
I can see.
He knows the problem.
I can see where you are headed.
How do you know where I'm going, Mr. Kachola?
He knows that is not the solution to joblessness in Kenya. He knows.
Just wait.
Okay.
So within a span of 4 years, 3 to 4 years, we've had foreign remittances in almost double what it used to be. Jagero, those are not my figures. Those are CBK figures, the Central Bank of Kenya figures. So it shows you that at least there are people getting opportunities. And then back at home, away from the environment that has been created by the government to ensure that there is employability from the private sector, the government itself is providing opportunities through programs like affordable housing, like there's a program that takes care of the environment. You remember the program which was launched to
Climate Works.
Yes, Climate Works. Those are opportunities that at least keep young people engaged to give them some daily income. So it is a whole thing that the government is trying to do to solve the situation that we have. But again, wrong people take advantage of our youthful groups that do not have opportunities to misuse them for their political gain.
Yeah, there is a video that has just been played by Mr. Frank, the producer. That video is by the way, Karauri's entire fleet of vehicle today was vandalized. And it is a very interesting thing. And when we talk about goonism, I think that obviously they are the one that sent the goons to do that to them. And I think it's becoming such a problematic thing in Kenya that because Karuri wants to be governor of Nairobi, then somebody else who also wants to be governor can send goons to destroy property. And I think this is now not from the government.
You know how we at times how we glorify something and then it becomes a reality. I think we've overused and misused this term goons, that some people think it is a good thing.
What name do you want us to use instead of goons? I think,
let us say, there are criminals who vandalized so-and-so's vehicles. And it's the moment you give it that term that it deserves, criminals. So the government will deal with criminals. Because when we fancy this thing, goons, no.
Or you think it's a fancy name for criminals?
It's so sexy name for criminals. No, let us just say there are criminals who did A, B, C, D, and the police should sort out those criminals.
Can I now ask you the question that you refused, that I shouldn't ask before?
Please do.
It is only in Kenya that we actually as a government celebrate not being able to give jobs locally, but decides to send people. When Americans are talking about the job market, they are talking about jobs within America. If Canada is talking about jobs, they are talking about jobs within Canada. How come Ruto is sending people to the Middle East?
Ruto is not sending people to the Middle East.
Yeah?
Ruto is not,
but that's what you've just said.
What
in a structured way. In a structured way.
Young people are getting opportunities where those opportunities are, Jagero. And now what the government has done, the government has ensured that as you get that opportunity where you are getting it, you can only get it in a very structured way. So government is ring-fencing all manner of opportunities that are available so that at least when you are getting that opportunity, it is not outside within the walls that can cause you problems. So if there are opportunities in Middle East, what can the government do to ensure that those opportunities are within the walls?
Is it not a complete failure on the side of the government when they cannot secure a job for their own citizens locally, but have to put them in Air Arabia?
Let me give you an example. China is such a huge economy, right?
Okay.
Do you know how many Chinese work outside China? How do they get to work outside China? Because China, being the economy that it is, it has some works that are done outside the country.
Yeah.
So, and because the population is there, they have the knowledge, they have the skills, then can you absorb some of this?
Yeah, I see them on trenches all over Nairobi, the works that Kenyans should be doing. The Chinese are doing it.
Not works that Kenyans can be doing, not all of them.
Come on, I've seen them on trenches. I mean, some of the Chinese that are on these roads working, some of the Chinese, you are scamming me. How are you scamming me?
No. Just be smart. Are you in the Smart Boys Association?
Don't you think that? Why are you not helping me?
I'm helping you. In fact,
okay.
I have a rebate for this. Don't think of Jagero that way. Jagero is actually a fence sitter. Don't think of him.
Asking for your help.
Anyway. No. Don't think of him as someone who is against this government. Jagero will never know where he stands.
But he's an ILOT.
You get the reference. I'm also an ILOT.
Yeah.
But on the issue of jobs, how many jobs has Ruto created so far?
I don't know.
Ruto has not created more than even 700,000 jobs. But during the campaign season, Jagero, during the campaign season, Ruto promised to create more than 4 million jobs in his first term as president. So far, he has not been able to even create more than 700,000 jobs. And whenever you question any person, especially government apologists, on what is the state of job creation for youths in the country, and the first thing they tell you is that we have built a certain stadium that has hired over 3,000 workers. We have come up with climate works that has hired over 5,000 youths, and youths are working. We have exported Kazi Maju program over 1,000 people to work in the Middle East as maids. That is their only way
and I think
of
it is
justifying.
A wrong notion,
Listen,
Jagero, that people think that people only go to Middle East to work as maids. We
No,
have
no,
nurses, we have doctors, we have oncologists, we have people in engineers working. And one of the things that people do not know, do not understand, is that the government today has embarked fully on qualification equalization. So that in any country where you go to, what the government is doing vigorously is qualification equalization. Such that, Jagero, with your degree in engineering, civil engineering, if you go to Qatar, you can work there. It has happened with some countries, and the government is constantly in talks with other governments.
The Kazi Maju program that was released by Alfred Mutua had a list of the type of jobs that Kenyans were going to do in the Middle East. There was no particular person who was going to work as a doctor, as an oncologist, as a lawyer, in any formalistic, or is it blue collar or white collar job. The best they could do was something like an electrician, a driver.
So electrician is not a professional
worker.
job?
When we talk about electricians, we're not talking about electrical engineers. We're talking about simple technicians. That
Jagero,
was
what
the
is
best
the
that
most
they
paying
could do.
job outside this country?
But the
What are some of the most
70%,
paying jobs?
I believe,
Unataka job ya
Jagero, what are the most paying jobs?
No,
when
listen.
people go out there, what are the most paying jobs they go for? You know, those countries, some of them, those who are paid heavily are plumbers who are hard to come by, are home care people.
Yes, but the question is, mister, do you, when you are trying to...
90% of the jobs that were sent by Alfred Mutua were hard labor jobs.
Hard
the
labor.
list is there, and in fact, I would challenge you. Exactly, and I would challenge you to go and look at the list of the jobs that was presented by Alfred Mutua. There was no single time they were calling an oncologist or a lawyer like me to go and work in the Middle East. It did not happen that way.
Now, for a lawyer, and that's the good news I'm bringing to you.
Yeah.
For a lawyer or for any other profession, you know, our syllabus is not the same. Our education curriculums are not the same. And that is one thing that, personally, I had written to one of the government officers and told them, please, in any negotiation diplomatically, can you always consider equalization of qualifications?
Oh, can I ask you?
Please do.
Can I ask you, apart from, let's climb down from the expatriate jobs that your government has been creating for a lot of us.
Our government, you and I.
Yeah?
Our government.
Our government, okay. What are you doing home? Here at home, how are you creating some of them here at home?
He has mentioned the climate works.
Thank you.
You didn't even let me finish.
Here at home?
Climate works.
Wait, let me respond to what is asked.
Okay.
By the time this government was taking power, we had a deficit of hundreds of thousands of teachers.
Yeah.
This is the first government to employ how many teachers? 70,000. Then, what has happened in this financial year? They have allocated more funds to it. In fact, education, for the first time in the history of this land, education has reaped the biggest. Why? Because we realize to fill the deficit, there has to be enough money to employ teachers. So teachers are going to get, all those who are now interns are going to be employed by the government, something that has never happened in this country. I just told you about security. What has the government done? It has upped the finances for the security so that they can employ more, because these guys also go out of job to find greener pastures, studies, and some retire, some also get out of job because of natural causes. So the government is again going to, this year, the government is again going to hire police officers in almost every sector of security. Jagero, those are direct government jobs.
Okay.
Now, private sector. You know, government, only what they do best is to create an enabling environment so that investors can do what? Can invest. In one of the negotiations that this government undertook between Kenya and Netherlands, you remember when the Dutch leadership, the king and the queen came here in Kenya, The government undertook upon itself to see to it that at least there are funds that are in form of grants to young people to begin their businesses. Today, as we speak, the Embassy of Netherlands has made a call to young people that we want you to invest in agriculture. So if you have ideas that you have, there is over 150 million for you. At least you'll be granted based on your proposal, so that you can go and begin something that can employ you, and you can also employ someone. What employs in this country more than agriculture? How are we going to be food secure? So you see, some of these negotiations, some of this conversation that the president and the government is having with other governments are yielding fruits. Today, the Treasury and Ministry of Trade are in Berlin. What are they doing in Berlin? They have secured hundreds of millions of shillings just to come and invest in young people in various businesses, opportunities. So these are some of the things the government is doing at home, creating an enabling environment to do what? To enable you and I create jobs and employ ourselves and employ others. Yes.
Yeah, well spoken, Adrian. So let's go into the last conversation that I wanted us to have, in as far as what happened to one of the activists, Mr. Bob Njagi. I don't know if you heard that Mr. Kachola.
Yes.
Njagi is in prison.
In prison or in cell?
Is in cell. Kajiado Court has granted the Directorate of Criminal Investigation 7 days to detain activist Bob Njagi while detectives investigate him for alleged offense of treason. The court has also authorized investigators to retain two mobile phones seized during Njagi's arrest for forensic analysis as part of the ongoing investigation. So detectives in Kitengela, Kajiado County arrested Mr. Njagi on Wednesday, the day before the Gen Z anniversary commemoration. He was held incommunicado for 24 hours at an undisclosed police station and appeared before Kajiado Principal Magistrate David Mwangi on Thursday afternoon. According to the charge sheet seen by The Nation, detectives had sought a 14 days custodial orders and permission to retain Mr. Njagi's two mobile phones confiscated during his arrest for forensic analysis and data extraction in pursuit of the treason investigation. Under Kenyan law, treason is punishable by death, although in practice, death sentences are often commuted to life imprisonment. The offense is governed by Section 40 of the Constitution. I'm wondering what Bob Njagi did. I don't know. What is so treasonous? I want to start with Adrian. What is treason, by the way? What could be? Because I don't know why they are asking. Because something very interesting here is.
This is not the first time he's been arrested.
But something interesting here is that they are saying that he's been alleged offense of treason, but they are also doing analysis on his phone. So why is it suddenly treason while they're still doing analysis on his phone?
First of all,
what is treason?
They have not yet put out. Those are the charges that they would like to charge him with in court, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, but they have not yet charged him. He is still under investigation. But I know Bob Njagi, and there is always a reason why the government is always afraid of Bob Njagi. Because Bob Njagi is a very good mobilizer, especially in his hometown in Kitengela. During the 2024 protest that happened for the finance bill, one of the worst hit places with the protest, even more than the Nairobi CBD, was in Kitengela. And Bob Njagi, together with his youth group called Free Kenya Movement, had done such a spectacular job to mobilize youths in Kitengela town. And a very huge number of people showed up for the protest in 2024, more than even the Nairobi CBD. It was chaotic in Kitengela, thanks to Bob Njagi. He's a very good mobilizer in Kitengela, and that is why he was abducted for almost 2 months, and we even rallied nationwide for them to be released. Bob Njagi, again, was the person who helped us as Linda Mwananchi to mobilize people for our first rally that caught the attention of the entire country in Kitengela. It was Bob Njagi.
Oh, so it was not organic.
There is no problem with mobilization. There is no problem with mobilization.
Continue.
Mobilization is information. and informing people that we are having a rally, please come.
Surprised
not the paying.
I'm surprised you're using the words chaotic.
Not the paying that UDA or ODM does, like the ODM that spent 200 million in Kisumu to have a rally in their own backyard, spending money and feeding people in
200 million?
Yes, they did. So he helped us mobilize a lot of people for the rally. So Bob Njagi has always been a target of the government. And I always say this, you are only a threat of the government, not because you vocally speak against the government, but the moment you start to organize. And that is Bob Njagi. Bob Njagi does not just speak online against the government in media. Bob Njagi knows how to organize. So Bob Njagi has always been a target of the intelligence agency, and they've always been afraid of him. So that is the reason why anytime you're having any form of protest, the first person that they rush to arrest is always Bob Njagi. So it's the same that happened with this one. We knew very well. In fact, one of the places that was going to have, massive number of people coming out for the protest, especially the commemoration, was going to be Kitengela. And the most influential people there is Bob Njagi. So they had to arrest Bob Njagi before he could organize people to come out and commemorate.
That submission, does it corroborate the fact that the government was working out of intelligence based on what he said? Does it corroborate the fact that the government was working out of intelligence?
But do you agree with me that there is no illegality in mobilizing people to commemorate? During the 2024 finance bill, I organized so many students to come out and protest. Nothing wrong with that. There is no problem in mobilizing people and getting people together. In fact, that is how we turn up for protests. We have groups.
Based on history that he has given about Kitengela, and whenever there are demonstrations, we know what has happened. So I think Bob Njagi, if there's anything wrong he did, the courts will decide, because it is not the police who decides whether you've done something wrong or not. The police will have to table their case, and the courts will listen to both sides and say, there's nothing here to answer, there's no charge to answer. He's the same Bob Njagi that this government fought fiercely to free from Uganda.
The government of Kenya?
Oh, yes. Yes.
I wouldn't say so.
And so you think people going to stand outside Uganda embassy would, Uganda High Commission would cause Uganda to release him? No, I can tell you, I can confirm to you that backdoor channels that were opened diplomatically between Kenya and Uganda enabled the release of Bob Njagi and his
Why would the
friends.
Ugandan government be interested in arresting and abducting him?
They have their laws and regulations that I may not want to get into.
Because Njagi does not organize in Uganda, so why was he arrested in Uganda while he's while the intelligence you speak so eloquently about knew his whereabouts and he was crossing the border?
Jagero, Uganda has its laws and regulations. How they operate, that is an internal matter that we may not want to get to. But the only point where the government came in is when now it became a concern that over time this guy has not been released, has not been seen, and the back-end communication channels diplomatically were open to ensure that a Kenyan who had been detained is released. And indeed, they were released, they came back.
Why did it take 36 days if the government was involved? 36 days?
At least it took 36 days. There are people who have taken forever, and people have never known where they went to. Not in Uganda, but other countries.
So what might be treasonous about organizing a few people in Kitengela?
Exactly, but
the courts will tell us. Because
exactly,
one thing we celebrate in this country is having a judiciary that is so independent, a judiciary that will not criminalize you based on what the police is saying that you did. They will listen to both sides and they will release you. I just saw today those who were taken to court. One of them, the court just told her, there is nothing to answer, you go. A lady who was arrested yesterday, there is nothing to answer, because they listened to the charges against her and they found nothing. So that is the beauty of our country, that we have separation of power, and each and every segment of this government does their part.
That is the beauty of our courts. But how about the beauty of our police?
The beauty of our
who arrest somebody with no charge at all and then put them in a cell.
The beauty with our
throughout
police,
the night.
Now, again, do you know we have IPOA? IPOA does not only investigate deaths that are allegedly or deaths that are caused by police, but any ill to the people that are caused by the police. So even after that, if Njagi's rights have been infringed by the police, IPOA can still come in and ensure that Njagi gets his rights. The courts will determine who was right, who is supposed to pay for what. Yes.
But
I
Jagero,
agree, but what is
it's
treason?
reasoning about...
What is treason?
That is what I'm saying. You know, first of all, Jagero, before... The ODPP has the task of assigning charges to any particular accused person. But before you could come up with a charge that you want to charge someone in court, you have to analyze the circumstances or the facts of that case to see that this is the potential charge that can be instituted against this person. If there was an accidental thing that led to the death of someone, according to the facts, we can put that as charges. And that is the charge that we'll look for the court to imprison this person for. If there was direct killing, maybe intentional stabbing, the ODPP will look for the charges of, murder. That is how you end up with a charge. You analyze the circumstances and the facts. And if you want to arrest today Bob Njagi as the ODPP, you have to look at the facts, like what is that wrong thing that he did for him to be instituted with the charge of treason. Treason is not defined with our constitution. And even if I gave you a legal analysis, treason is always defined with our penal code, specifically in section 40. If you look at the thresholds for you to be charged with treason in Kenya, Bob Njagi does not fall within any of those reasons.
What are the reasons?
Look at section 40 of the penal code.
Okay.
A person is deemed to commit treason for the following reasons. I believe there are always about 4 or 5. Number 1 is the intent to unlawfully remove or harm the president. So it has to intend the death, wounding, imprisonment, or restraining of the president, or to unlawfully dispose the president from office or overthrow the government by unlawful means. Another second reason is to levy war against the republic. If I am an individual and today I decide to form an armed resistance and I say, this is resistance against, or Pwani si Kenya, or the Sabaot land forces that is going to be fighting against our own army, that would be deemed as levying war against the republic, and that one is always deemed as a direct act of treason against the country. Another act of treason is assisting the enemies of Kenya. If today I assisted an armed terrorist group like the Al-Shabaab, or maybe a group that is trying to invade Kenya today, that would be deemed as a treasonous act. And the last one is inviting foreign armed invasion.
Jagero.
If there was no, listen, let me just finish on it. If there was a foreign armed group that was trying to take over Kenya today, and I invite them and I help them, that would be deemed as a treasonous act. Tell me which act
Can I go to number 2? Number 2 sounds like June 2024.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2 is living war.
It sounds like June 2024 to me.
No,
but you are the lawyer.
No, in June 2024.
Read number 2.
That is why we
TikTok lawyer, read number 2.
It was number 1. Number 1, I talked about the intent to unlawfully remove or harm the president.
No, number 2.
No, listen. Under that is why I mentioned.
Reading number 2?
I'm reading it. Listen.
Please proceed.
No, it was not number 2.
Okay.
Under the intent to unlawfully remove or harm the president, that is section 41.
Okay.
There are certain circumstances under it. Intend the death,
okay,
wounding, imprisonment, or restraining of the president, or to unlawfully dispose the president from office, or the intent to overthrow the government by unlawful means.
That is what that is. That sounds like the June 2024 protests.
The June 2024 protest, did the young people of Kenya say they were going to overthrow the president?
They say they're going to occupy the State House and remove the president by a decree of the people.
Jagero, you read something very interesting. I don't know where you got it from.
Okay.
But you said he's being held in undisclosed police station.
Yes.
Police station is a public entity.
Okay.
How does this public place become undisclosed? Yes.
I don't know. I'm reading it from the Nation website. And people of the internet have started calling, by the way. People of the internet, it is time that you can call us and give us a little bit of what you think about all these issues. Please, if you can call us through direct calls, we'll really appreciate. So thank you very much. Yes, you're saying something.
How can a police station be undisclosed? They know he's being held in a police station. At the same time, they're telling you he's being held in undisclosed police station. I don't think that writing also is very much in order. Yes. And has he been taken to court?
No, he has not been taken to court.
Do they have the charge sheet?
No. The charge sheet is treason, but they're asking for another 7 days. In fact, they asked for 14.
So if they don't have a charge sheet, how did they know that is? I don't know where that is coming from. But if they didn't have a charge sheet, how do they know he's being charged with treason? If they, he's being charged with treason and then is in undisclosed police location.
It's a bit sketchy.
You know, sometimes
it's a bit sketchy,
when you read through some of these statements, you realize there are some that.
But can you check online on what about Njogu, Bob Njagi?
No, let me agree with him. Number one, if the only person that you ask for 15 days for an investigation to go on is a court.
Yes.
So meaning, it was if that is what the report is reading, then they definitely presented maybe through a miscellaneous application for that person to be held before investigation. Before you are taken to plea taking, there is a power that investigating officers are given to still hold you before investigation. So when they say that they needed time, ask yourself, who are they asking? The only person you can ask is the court. It's only the court that assigns you 15 days to be held as investigations are ongoing through. So I'm sure if that is what happened, it is the court that gave the permission for the detention.
Okay.
Because ask yourself, who are they asking for 15 days from?
Yeah, it is the court. They want the court. Hello. Good evening.
How are you?
Good evening.
Hello. How are you? Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you, but kwa umbali. Hello?
Can you hear me? Yes, somebody talking. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, this is what I'm saying, Jagero. Kagogo from Nairobi.
Okay.
Well, I agree with Adrian.
With Adrian?
Yes, because look, we have three arms of government. The legislative arm, judiciary, the executive.
Okay.
Now, the police falls under the executive. In this case of yesterday, we were supposed to commemorate the lives of people who passed on or who are shot in 2024 or 25th of 2024.
Okay.
So they were aware. It was not going to be done in the secret. It was not going to be done in darkness. So they were aware what to protect them. So the intelligence has got nothing to do with the public.
Okay.
That is a matter for the security agency. So if you are telling me that they were acting under the intelligence that they received.
Okay.
I don't believe it, that's okay. That is for them. So this is the question I'm putting to the other guy. Now that they received intelligence, now that they received intelligence prior to the day yesterday, then at 4 a.m. they have already barricaded the roads, all major roads leading into the CBD. So tell me, where does the person traveling from the Busia border to Nairobi get a recourse?
All right, thank you very much.
Nairobi? 4 a.m.?
Unasikia, because yesterday I was also having somebody coming from Kisumu and they were not able to arrive properly in Kisumu in Nairobi because from Westlands you could not get into town.
Correct. And I think he has asked a very genuine question. Where do these people get their recourse? Because again, there are people who are coming to do various things. People may be some coming to hospital to have been referred to come and get treatment, some just coming to do their businesses as usual, and on their way either from Mombasa or western parts of Kenya or northeastern, they were barricaded. They could not come into the city. it was unfortunate, but again, I want to believe. I am not a security officer, I am not an intelligence officer, but I want to believe that whatever was done yesterday was done with the intentionality of having to secure Nairobi CBD and whatever malice that would have happened. Beyond that, I also want to strongly believe that at a point, there's some point in time when buses and vehicles, the long-distance vehicles, were allowed to pass because they knew these are people who are either on their transit, blah, blah, and based on the intelligence that they had. So it's not like it's unfortunate whatever happened, but it was happening simply for the good, the greater good of our country.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I sound like I'm apologizing.
Yes.
We have a gentleman from Dubai. Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you?
Hello?
Yes, Jagger, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm good. So what I would like to say is that that guy from the government, I think today he performed very poorly.
The guy from the government?
But I'm so disappointed.
Hard to defend
very
the
poorly
government.
today.
These people are just brilliant, but they pretend.
Whatever it is. But I would like to say, Adrian also, he didn't impress me today. I don't know what is the problem with him today. Adrian is a little bit, until you are asking for his help, I think he's not doing something. He's doing something wrong. So what I wanted to say about Bomjagi, about Bomjagi, I would like to say first of all is that the government statement. Look what Cherargei said. Because I believe that Bomjagi, the issue with Uganda, it was about the international community and the NGOs. They are the one who helped me. Because even the Ugandan government, they could not admit that they had Bomjagi. You can see how that thing was. Then there was the issue of policing. You know, the police, it's not about the police state. And that guy, he performed very poorly explaining like why we have, we don't have adequate people and stuff like that. Police is about policing, and policing is the community. The moment the police unit doesn't have trust with the community, then it has failed totally because they cannot operate on its own. That's why you see, have you seen the parade? The parade, there is one person making a command, and then the whole unit will follow the command. What does that mean? It means teamwork brings success. You understand?
Yeah, but so there is also the other question that I wanted to ask you. The gentleman has said that we do not have enough police to take care of us as a country, and so each and every person has to bear arms. Probably.
No, Jagiro, I didn't say bear arms. No.
Listen.
What is the difference when you say people have to take rungus?
No.
You see.
Yeah.
Jagero,
yes.
Our policing has failed until our first line of defense has become goonism.
Okay.
Our first line of defense has become goonism because our police state has failed. In the country where I am, their population is very low that they can't have adequate policing. But they have put policies that is making policing effective, very effective. First of all is the use of technology. The other thing is use of manpower. Where I'm working on behalf of police.
Okay.
Because if I see something wrong, I can be able to report, and the police, they act very fast. In Kenya, even our 999 doesn't work. First of all, doesn't work. Whether the thing is genuine or not genuine, even if you want to report this
we have a 911 in Kenya, you're saying?
I think even we don't have it. I don't believe. I no longer stay there, so I cannot talk about that one. I'm not sure about that one. I want to believe that we have. You get my point? So
yes.
What I'm saying is the policing, first of all, use the technology, use the manpower that you have, make that everyone is a police, and make the policing that it is trustworthy. It is said that if Jagere, you are caught there, you can be caught there and you find yourself in Wajir. And the best case is the case of Ojuang. You get my point? Is that the policing you have? We have a police who doesn't know citation. You know, Jagero, when you are caught, you have to be given a citation. We have the police system that doesn't know about citation. Have you heard any police talking about citation? You go around and ask a random police, tell me about the process of citation. He doesn't know.
What is citation?
So what kind? Citation is this one, you have the right to remain silent. You have to be told why you are being arrested. Like Bob Jaggi, he doesn't even know. Now he's himself. He doesn't know why the police has to identify himself. You get my point? The police has to, nowadays the police, they are coming with balaclava. The car is unidentifiable. They have to tell you which police station they are taking.
They were in V8.
Even he doesn't have a number plate. So, it's like you are supposed to be given your rights. So that if Jagero, you are being arrested, first of all, me as a witness, I will know why is Jagero being arrested, number one. Number two, where are you taking him? What are his charges? Who arrested him? So that I have an information that I can give to the police. But now in our police, that is abduction. That is not arresting. For me, I believe that Bomjagi right now is being abducted. He has not been arrested. Detaining is where I hold you until I get the clear information, and then now I can go to the next procedure of arresting you. That now I'm detaining you. I'm arresting you, but you have some certain rights. You can move, you can do whatever you're doing. You understand?
All right.
So for me, policing is a very, very failed state. Please allow me, the last time you called me and we did not get to communicate very well. And it was very important that I talked about this one. Why is Sifuna still in ODM? Please let me talk about this one. In 1 minute.
Sifuna?
Yeah, no, last time you remember you tried to call me and then we did not connect.
But Sifuna's executive person is here. So we will
allow No.
Yes, yeah.
He's the one who
I am the chairperson diaspora, so I think I have more information than him.
Chairperson of what?
of Linda Molanchi, diaspora caucus.
Calm down.
Okay, go
ahead.
Jagera.
Yes, go ahead.
What I wanted to say is that the reason why Sifuna is staying in SG is a very, very vital organ. As an SG is a very, very vital position. They can't move and have a dialogue with UDA because as SG, Sifuna has to sign some papers. And that's why Sifuna is standing there. He's like, like the airlock in a windpipe. So things are not moving. They are agitated, they cannot move him, and for him, he's telling them, follow the due process. For him, it's like, follow the due process. You understand? Okay. So for him, it's like the marriage where you can't divorce your wife, so she cannot get married because you have to give the divorce. So this wife cannot move on. So that's why you see the UDA is very stagnant. They don't have any dialogue with ODM. They cannot do anything because Sifuna is standing in between them. And for me, I support that because that one is a strategy.
Oh my goodness, that is the weirdest thing I've heard today. Because
no, it's not the weirdest, my friend.
Because then what does Sifuna want then? He wants to go back to ODM. Is that what you're saying?
No. He wants to distract them. Because they have to follow the due process of removing him. For them to follow the due process, the end game is that they will not have the dialogue with the UDA until he moves out of that position. And for them, they cannot proceed.
Why doesn't Sifuna want that conversation to go on? And he doesn't like Oburu Odinga, he doesn't like Ruto. What is his problem?
Exactly.
So why
because for him, he believes that ODM has been hijacked.
Just to block.
For him, he believes that ODM has been hijacked by Ruto and UDA.
So he wants,
and for him, he feels bitter, so he has to fight for it.
He wants his ODM
back. He wants to fight for it. In fact, for him, I think, exactly. And through that is that he will also say that those leadership, they are all illegitimate because they do not follow the due process.
So okay, take me to the end of the day, to the end of the rope. Yes. What happens at the tail end of this little fight Sifuna is having with his ex?
For me, I'd like even for Sifuna to also to take a political suicide and stick there, take this course until to the Supreme Court. It will take the longest time, and make sure that there is no dialogue between UDA and ODM.
How about the millions of people that are apparently following him? They are supposed to be on the wings, waiting for him to have his little fight, his little revenge.
Sifuna, he said it's not about him alone. So his ideology can be taken forward by another person. He already said it is not about him. It is about the country. And for me, I can see his fight.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Because, thank you so much.
What is going on here? But I want, before you come in, I want the man from the house of Sifuna, from the house of Sifuna, house of Stark. What is going on there, bro?
No,
what have I just heard?
There's a point that he's trying to communicate from, but that is his own analysis and maybe his point of view when it comes to strategy. But when it comes to Sifuna, there's a reason why Sifuna has still stuck with the post of SG. Number one, we have always held that a political party is a democratic institution, a very powerful democratic institution that belongs to the party members and not certain individuals who are termed as the leaders of that party. The leaders of ODM went against the general position of most ODM members, who before all this happened were not in good terms with this government. So now, being that a political party is a democratic entity, you cannot just wake up one day and decide that this person does not become the Secretary General of this political party without even the general consensus of even grassroots leaders of ODM. So that is our position when it comes to ODM. ODM does not belong to Buru Odinga. ODM does not belong to Orengo. ODM does not belong to anyone. ODM belongs to ODM members. And you cannot also ignore the fact that people like us who are in ODM, there is also a huge number of people who are ODM allied that do not want this broad-based arrangement, which is very unlawful. So we still have the entitlement for the position of SG. But Sifuna does not come out and say that that is the political party that he wants to vie under. Absolutely not. We are saying that this is a democratic institution that has to follow the due process of the law, so he's entitled to still.
When was Sifuna? Why was Sifuna? Why did Sifuna?
A few individuals cannot decide for the entire party.
Okay, but when did Sifuna become SG of Orange Democratic Party?
Around 2013?
Yeah, but that is how long up to today?
Sifuna is my very good friend.
Yes.
I know how even he took over.
Yeah, please tell me, how long ago? How long ago did he take over the SG?
It's been now 9 years.
9 years?
Yes.
But what does the ODM constitution say about the SG position?
I am not a member
5 years.
I am not a member of ODM.
It's actually 5 years.
I am not a member of ODM. I will not
But
comment.
you're a friend of Sifuna.
Yes. So I will not comment on matters ODM. Let them deal with their skunk.
Yeah, but Adrian, you're a lawyer. ODM, Sifuna was supposed to be there for 5 years, and then either elections have to happen or he has to leave. So why is Sifuna still there 3 years later after the expiry of his term?
Just because I also want to verify, because the years you're talking about, I was probably in primary.
Yeah,
so
but we remember when he joined, there was the. In fact, it was a violent takeover.
If I verify,
was it not a violent takeover?
Sifuna was elected and appointed as the SG for ODM in 2018.
How many years?
23rd February 2018.
How many years ago is that?
How many years are those?
Yeah, that is 7 years. Right?
That is 7 years.
Yeah, but the constitution of ODM says that you can only be SG for 5 years, a term of 5 years.
A term of 5 years or 2 terms.
So when did the second election happen?
The second election happened at the time when Raila nominated most of the 2 deputy presidents. There was a national delegation conference that brought about new leaders. I don't know if you
National delegation?
There was one.
When?
There was one that was done by Raila.
You know what? ODM as their spokespeople, you can have them here so that they discuss their issues. By the way, let me tell you.
You don't like this idea of discussing ODM?
Jagero,
It's a dead party.
Now, the gentleman who spoke on phone said that I performed so poorly, and he didn't like the fact that you are even asking for help.
Okay.
So sijui kama nimewalemea, na kama nimewalemea, I say sorry. Nitazidi kuwalemea.
I don't think that was that's not what he implied. So, but he's twisting it.
Besides that, he mentioned something to do with Njagi, because I think I needed to respond to this. He mentioned Njagi, how the international community came in for him, how the NGOs. You heard when Museveni spoke. If you could sieve his sentiments, you could clearly tell that Kenya came in big time. I know, I can ascertain, and I can confirm to you here that Kenya came in big time so that Njagi could be released from Uganda. Kenyan government opened diplomatic communication channels with their counterparts in Uganda, and Njagi and his friends were released. So, yes, I could be or NGOs did put in pressure, they do what, but if it is not state to state, nothing could happen. Absolutely nothing. So let us not delude ourselves into some other things that didn't really make a lot of impact. He talked about policing. Police and policing. This is a good concept, a good idea that majorly works in other jurisdictions. How then should it work here? It has been tried many times. In many times, it has yielded a lot of results. But what are the circumstances under which we are talking about policing? There are circumstances that policing works. And you've seen police arrest criminals, police thwart some attacks. It is based on what? It is based on policing. So it is not like there is no policing in Kenya. It is there. But sometimes the magnitude of or the gravitas of a certain issue may go beyond the policing issue. Then he talks about technology and all that. We are not where we want to be as a country, and we cannot wake up one day and be there. So you can be sure that it is bit by bit that Kenya is making the necessary steps to be where we want to be. We must be people who are optimistic and who are hopeful that our country will get where it is. So as we want our country to get there, how are we helping our country? Because when my country is at the level where I want it to be, it's not about the president. It's you and me who are eventually the benefactors. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I think this was a very good conversation. I really enjoyed it. I hope that you have your last words, Mister, before we...
No, today I don't have so many things to talk about.
I can tell. Disappointed?
No, I'm not. I'm not disappointed on what?
I was just shocked that, today he came and was, for the first time, very honest about Gachagua. And about what is going on there.
Have I ever supported Gachagua? Which time have I ever supported Gachagua?
Reality is dawning day by day. And I'm happy that as days go by, people are beginning to realize, okay, out there, wild goose chase,
I've never supported Gachagua.
And life goes on.
Jagiro, you're just trying to force me on Gachagua.
Okay.
No, today I was just tired and, I didn't plan on coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming, brother. It's always a pleasure having you here. I really enjoy your company. And, when you go back to House of Sifuna, please tell them that we're waiting for a presidential candidate. We are where,
You don't have
a presidential
option? You don't have from the available option like Ruto? Ruto is not your presidential candidate?
No, at least as a podcaster, he's waiting, at least so that they can have a conclusive debate on those...
No, what he's trying to communicate to you that there is no any good option from the united opposition from the president. So he wants a good option.
There is no. Is it a problem to have a big pool to choose from?
You get a good option. Don't worry.
Is it a good pool to choose from?
No, I'll get you a good option. I know it's difficult to choose from those cronies.
We already know that Ruto is running for president. And we are going to make our decisions at the end of the day.
No, but you said you're waiting for a presidential candidate. So I'm going to give you one.
When?
sooner or later.
Jagero, you know what used to happen back then with be it CORD, be it NASA, be it Azimio. Those guys would wait and wait and wait. 4 months or 5 months to the election, that's when they have a presidential candidate.
Kina CORD na NASA.
CORD, NASA, Azimio. Then, on the other side, the guys were already running. They know their presidential candidate. They know their running mate. The same mistake the opposition is doing here. In fact, they will give you a presidential candidate, Jagero, sometime last year. Next year in March.
You think it's a house of chaos?
Do you think they can agree?
No, I'm asking, is a house of chaos?
I'm not thinking. It is evident.
A house of chaos?
Evident. Because they can't even agree amongst themselves up to now. And the egos in that room are too bloated.
The ego of Matiangi. And the ego of my fellow Bukusu man. It's out of this world, eh? Ne. And then we have Uhuru Kenyatta standing on the other side with a bag of billions.
Tukutane 2032.
You know? Everybody with his dog. With a leash. Oh my goodness. Water. People of the internet, it's always a pleasure having you guys. I want to thank Mr. John Tezu, who has been on TikTok, Mr. Frank, who's on the tech, how he was doing all the logistics and producing, and everybody else. But the star of the show is always the people of the internet that gather around this house, this fireplace to listen to us, to talk to us, to call us. And please, if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe. Hit on that notification bell so that when we have something great coming up, you'll be the first person to be notified. Thank you very much. Until another episode, bye for now.